to wait a second for people to actually show up, some of our attendees. So we hopefully have at least maybe an equal number of attendees to actual panelists.
This is truly a party. This is a good crowd.
It is.
As Stephanie would say, this is a party.
Hell yeah!
Welcome. Let's see, we have hi Nedret, hi Paula.
Hey Paula.
Hi Quintia.
Oh, Quintia, hey.
I've seen some.
Liz,
Lisa.
how you doing, Liz? Lisa.
Arnav.
Oh, Fab's on. What up, Fab?
Lots of people. This is awesome.
Wendy, hi Wendy.
So welcome to everyone who is here. I'm sure we'll have more people joining us as we go. I'm Christine O'Donnell. I'm the owner of Beacon Gallery, and I'm here with Jamaal Eversley and John Crowley. John here is the curator and exhibitions coordinator at Boston City Hall, which is where we find ourselves right now. Feeling very lucky to be there. And yeah, we're very excited to be celebrating Friendsgiving. And it looks like we have an attendee with their hand up. And I'm wondering what that means. Please, if you have any questions or comments about our webinar this evening, please put them in the chat, because I think that's probably the place where we'll be able to address all of your concerns, questions, issues, comments. Really excited to just hang out for the next hour. We're going to watch a video. We're going to have a tour of the show, have a chance to just have a discussion, talk to the artists. And what would you like to add?
And friends building, like this is what 2020 has shown, that togetherness is going to get us through this. So
indeed.
I wish to have Friendsgiving with all you guys in person, but Zoom is the second best thing, and I'm just happy to be here with y'all right now.
Yeah. Now, John, would you like to say a few words about having the show here at Boston City Hall?
Yes, I would. We're really excited about having this show. Ever since we put it up, everybody down here in the mayor's office is really excited about it. And there hasn't been a lot of cheer, I would say, at City Hall. It's all been kind of serious. And so this is a great show to have up during interim. And I don't know, we really like the show a lot. People are stopping me wherever I go and saying, thanks for that show downstairs. So thank you all for showing your work.
Awesome. Well, thanks for
Thank you for the kind words.
Now, I'm going to go over
That's awesome.
Paula, you have your hand up. Do you want to say something? Why don't you just put something in the chat if yes. And if no, I'll put your hand up.
Well, Paula just wanted to say hello to everybody.
Yeah, well then I can hit this and allow her to talk, but I just want to make sure she actually does want to talk.
Hey, Paula.
Paula!
What's up? While she's commenting or deciding not to comment, we'll see. Why don't we do some intros? What do you think?
Yeah, we could do some intros.
Should we just kind of go around the screen and just start with Mateo, who's in our upper left-hand corner?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
It's because I came in first.
Yes.
You know, I was just following orders. Jamaal said be here early, so, you know, gotta be poignant there.
Are you sure that is all me?
So my name, I go by Mateo Recca. You know, I don't know, what am I saying here? I'm an artist, obviously. It's been a pleasure to be, you know, a friend of Jamaal's, and not to mention to be a part of this show. I think ultimately it goes to speak to, you know, in my opinion, one of the most important things of our era, which is the importance of, you know, friendship and diversity and the exchange of ideas. You know, I think that's why all of us are so excited and happy to be a part of this. And thank you. Thank you for being here.
Mateo, where are you talking to us from tonight? Maybe that'll be the question beside people's names.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm coming from southern New Hampshire, so just a short skip away from all of you, over in the rural area of Goffstown.
Awesome.
Oh, my uncle used to live in Goffstown. I know exactly where that is.
Stephanie, you just definitely volunteered yourself to go next. So go on.
Yes. Alrighty then. So my name is Stephanie Ayotte. During the day, I am a marketing individual at a financial company, but during the evenings and weekends, I love doing fashion design and sewing a whole bunch of projects and a lot of costumes if you're into cosplay and everything. Um, I have known Jamaal for over, I won't say how many years, a long time. He and I have go way back, and I've absolutely loved being on this artist journey with him. I've loved seeing how he's grown throughout the years, both personally and art-wise. And I'm so glad that he chose me to be part of the show and part of his friends to exhibit. But I am coming from Boston, well, Canton, Massachusetts, which is south of Boston, not from New Hampshire.
I love that you were in the show too, because we are wearing masks.
Mhm.
So I don't know what I'd be wearing otherwise. So who knows?
Quite fancy masks.
Yeah. Well, let's continue with the kind of fashion side of things. I'm also wearing shoes that come from. So Joan, you're up next.
Hi,
Lady-
my name is Joan Gannon. I live in Boston, in the Jamaica Plain part of Boston as well. And I, as Christine said, paint the shoes that were in the show that are Jamaal's, inspired by Jamaal's paintings. And it has been just an honor to collaborate with him and with Christine, who pushed me into even trying to paint on high heels, which never occurred to me before because I didn't think the canvas would be big enough. And I was happily wrong. So that's my.
I want to see more of it. I would buy more of your shoes. In
Well,
other
thank you.
You want to pick someone to go next? Sorry.
We're gonna do- How about Terrence? Terrence, what you been up to, brother?
Hey, I'm Terrence. Most people call me T. I'm a metal fabricator. I build motorcycles, bicycles, pretty much anything metal related. And I've known Jamaal since we went to Babson together, along with Steph and Lashonda and some of our staff that are with us here. And I've always wanted to collaborate with Jamaal, and this show gave us an opportunity to finally kind of put some of our ideas that we've always said one day, and make them tangible and real. So it's been an awesome experience.
Terrence and I were working. Terrence, I, LaShonda, we're working on the next show called Poignant. That's coming up.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming in the near future, y'all.
Yeah.
My good friend Stephanie Offset.
Well, I love being your girlfriend. And I have to tell you that I really, really enjoyed our collaboration. As you
Good.
know, it happened during COVID.
Yeah.
We had this issue where he came over to model for me. I was trying to get his likeness. And I got as far as the underglaze, and we fired it once, and it turned red. The clay body, terracotta clay body. And Jamaal, my art director, had to take it from my studio to his studio because of COVID. He was supposed to work here, but we were isolating and being very cautious. And so he did a fabulous job on our collaborative with acrylic, his famous cold finish. And there were no errors and no cracks. It was perfect. And I know him from Babson College, where I taught ceramics and ran their studio for a few students there. And some of my favorites are on this call on the Zoom.
Great. We're gonna see about that. Okay. Yuvaline.
Oh, I'm next. Hi, everyone. So my name is Yuvaline. I met Jamaal, I think like last year when I was trying to find a space to do a solo show. And Jamaal sort of helped me like hang my art and like kind of gave me pointers on how to like go about like hanging art and wiring and my artwork and everything. So that's sort of how I met Jamaal. And I was really excited when when he reached out to me to do the collaborative piece because I've never done that before. So it was like a really cool experience just to work with another artist, especially someone who does such different work from what I do, because I mostly do like portrait work. So it was definitely like a very cool experience, and just so cool to see everybody's work all in one place and all the different like, you know, mediums and everything. I thought the show was like such an innovative idea, and I'm just happy that I could have been a part of it. So that's it.
Right on, right on. Fernando.
Hey, can everybody hear me okay? I was having some mic issues earlier.
Coming through loud and clear.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, excellent. Yeah, so I'm Fernando Fula. I've known Jamal for a number of years now. We originally met at a nightclub art show, and he came up to my work and just pointed at it, said, "This you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "I dig, man, I dig." And I was just wondering if he was a time traveler, because I never heard anybody speak like that. And then that was it. We just became friends ever since. By day, yeah.
I always dig that story, man. You know that?
Yeah, that, you know, I don't think I'll ever forget that story. Even Jamal's style looked like he stepped out of a time machine, which is very, very unique. But it goes a lot. It complements him very well.
Right on, brother. Right on, right on. Okay. Mary Pinard. Yeah, we have a party here. I love to see this.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Pinard, and I am especially honored to be a part of this glorious group because my art is poetry, not visual art. So this feels very special to be among you all. I am a poet, and I'm also a teacher, and my teaching gig is at Babson College, which is where I met many of these extraordinary people. So it's felt a huge honor to be part of this, but also like being back in a kind of glorious family. So I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Okay. Melissa?
Hey, everybody. Excuse me. So I'm Melissa Schock, and I used to work at Babson and got to know Jamaal there. But the point at which we really connected was over painting. And we started a conversation when he and LaShonda had a show there in the Hollister Gallery. And we just couldn't stop talking about art and have continued ever since. And Babson gave us the first opportunity to collaborate. We used the studio space there to paint together and see how that felt. And it was really fun. And we sort of then took that style into the painting we did for the show. And I feel like this is the gift that keeps on giving. Like I get to hang with you yet again, and it's really a pleasure, everyone.
I love it. I love it.
Stephanie Christopher.
Did it.
Hi. Oh, she's frozen. You're frozen. You're frozen, Stephanie. You're frozen.
Maybe we can come back to Stephanie.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking of introducing Nate.
Hey.
Well, we have a good friend, LaShonda.
So, Jamal and I met through. Sorry. How about now?
You're still out a little bit. You're still out. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. Okay. Try to close out all your tabs, and we'll come back. But LaShonda, a real good friend of mine.
Hey guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm in Dallas, Texas. That's where I'm originally from. I'm a visual artist, and I'm excited to be a part of the F.R.I.E.N.D.S show. And this next iteration at the mayor's office is pretty cool. I went to school at Babson with Jamaal, Terrence, and Stephanie Ayad, as well as Stephanie Ozer was our ceramics instructor. And I met Jamaal my very first day on campus. During orientation, and they used to do this cruise thing. And so I've known Jamaal over 10 years, and I'm excited that, you know, as an artist, we've kind of linked up at our fifth reunion back at Babson, and realized both of us were kind of going on this art journey, and decided to see, if we can have some, I guess, some collaborations, and been doing it ever since. So happy to be here tonight.
Just quickly, LaShonda, happy birthday, first and foremost, to you.
Thank you.
And second to you, sis, just quickly share what you're doing in Dallas. You're doing big things in Dallas.
Oh, yeah. So most of COVID, I've been outside of working on the pieces for the Friend show, I did my own show where I basically did a series called Hair Story, which is me and six other artists, including Eveline, who I met through Jamaal, and she has some phenomenal pieces that she shipped down from Boston to Dallas, and it's been getting a lot of media love. So I'm super grateful. Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful for the support here locally. Absolutely.
LaShonda, do you have a link that you can put in the chat so if people want to check it out, they can?
Yeah, I'll post it. We have a virtual tour, so I'll post that.
Awesome. Yeah, put that in the chat for anyone.
Okay.
Check it out. It'd be great.
All right.
Thank
Stephanie,
you.
we're going back to Stephanie Christopher.
Okay, am I unfrozen now?
You're unfrozen.
Okay. So I met Jamaal a few years ago through a mutual friend, which is my daughter, and we were talking about art and creative ideas. So that's how we started our dialogue and friendship. And then we talked about collaborating one day and just different styles of artwork, and then our friendship just developed from there. So it's a pretty simple story, kind of not boring, but still evolving. So I'm on the West Coast. At the time that I met Jamaal, I was living on the East Coast. So now I'm considered bi-coastal, so we still keep in contact, even though I'm 3,000 miles away, and make things happen on the West Coast and East Coast.
Right on.
I took a pause for a moment because I have moved, which gives me a bigger space to work with my art. Working on a website right now, so that's what I'm currently doing at the moment. Sorry for the noise, I'm sitting outside.
Right on. You're lucky to be
That's
in
pretty
LA.
much it.
You're lucky to be in LA to sit outside right now. But okay. For the last and final, we want to welcome our new friend, Nate. Nate, tell us quickly about you, and then we're going to show a video that you helped create.
Sure. My name is Nate. I'm not actually originally from Boston. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Moved to Boston about 2 years ago. Professionally, I work as an audiovisual technician.
We're on lockdown, so this is my outdoors.
Yeah, Nate, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. But professionally, I'm an audiovisual technician. And then artistically, I produce pop art in the form of large and small format print. I met Christine over the summer during COVID as I was kind of perusing galleries in South Boston and all over Boston, and asked about emerging artist programs. And she brought me on after I told her about my audiovisual work to do some video editing, which led me to doing a lot of video editing for Jamaal's show, Real Friends, which is how I met Jamaal, began working with Jamaal, and did a lot of video editing for him in the style of his spoken word that he has produced during the show.
Right on. I think that's a great introduction.
Yeah, it is. And we'll go into the video in 1 second. I'm gonna give a little push, Nate, for your own art as well, because you are part of the Art Dash that's happening next Saturday.
Yes, I am.
So,
I've got 3 pieces in the Art Dash, small little prints on photo rag.
yeah, so anyone who's interested, Beacon Gallery is doing that event next Saturday, 6 to 9. You can sign up for it on Eventbrite and see lots of art. All the pieces are $100, and all the proceeds go back to the artists. And now we're gonna go and check out this awesome video that Jamaal put together. that features a lot of the friends.
I just want to say, as Christina's popping this up, that this video encapsulates the entire show, the entire feeling, the mood that this show provided if you came to see it. If you come to see it at the Mayor's Gallery.
Oh, yes. And then afterward, Paula, we'll hear a quick hello from you. Love that.
I think for me, collaboration is always like the best drug I could take. That is both a little dangerous, but mostly safe. And because ultimately it's a kind of nourishment. For me, what it does is it pushes me into a risky place, but not entirely risky because I trust my collaborators.
It definitely has reinvigorated me, I'd say, for sure. You know, anyone who chases a vision in any craft or business or anything, you know, you get highs and lows. And I'm a firm believer in being uncomfortable.
The theme behind, so the name and theme are different. So I just wanted to make like a completion of like, because you have the clouds and the park and the trees, and then you have some kind of abstract with the blocks and the plaid. It's like, okay, how do I soften it? How do I complement with what I do? So my original idea was just to more Spencer. And I was like, no, let me just do more and just see how it looks. And I think it pops more with the target and his character.
Sometimes I don't speak right, but yet I know what I'm talking about.
I feel like this show kind of saved me in my artistic career because I felt stuck. I was like, how much more of the nerd can I paint? Even though I love Spencer Bourne, how much more can I paint of this guy? A friend of mine said to me that you have to switch it up and do something different. And that's where a lot of the idea of the collaboration came. I wanted to do portrait paintings. I wanted to do fashion. I wanted to do ceramic pieces. And that's why I came to you guys. You guys saved me to create something that I could not do on my own.
I love that song. I love that song, and honestly, due to the whole situation that we're in right now, um, it really comes down to why can't we be friends? You know, why can't we be friends? And I'm glad that I'm friends with every single one of you on here. On here, you know, you brought something out of me, like I said on that video, that I can't do by myself, and that's what it's all about.
I love that video. Thank you, Nate, and thank you, Jamal, for all your hard work on that.
Thank you, Felice. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and everyone who was part of it as well. Now we have one person who, a friend who is currently in the audience who wanted to give a quick hello. So I'm going to let Paula come in to talk now.
Okay.
And then I think we're going to do the tour after that.
Yeah.
So Paula, I hope you're ready. You should be unmuted or something. I don't really know how this works. Paula. Talking permitted. Ask to unmute.
Hi there. I just wanted to say hi. I wasn't sure what the format is, but I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. This is super impressive, and I've really enjoyed meeting you all, either virtually or in person. Your show is truly tremendous at Christine's Gallery, so thanks for having me.
Oh,
I'm glad to be here. You're all wonderful. You're all so talented.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over. I'm going to put this on full screen once Jamaal turns on his camera, and he is going to give us a tour of where we are now, which is the Mayor's Gallery here at Boston City Hall, which is a very cool building. It's a brutalist building, meaning that these are walls, pure concrete behind me, and soaring ceilings as well. And we're going to get that started right now. All right, so everyone, if you can't, if he doesn't end up spotlighted for you, like big screen, let me know. Thank you for everyone who's been attending. Arnav, thank you. So you should be on there now. Okay, so Steph, can you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here?
Sure. So this is a collaboration piece between Jamaal and I. It's a denim jacket. We took Jamaal's artwork and had it printed on denim material to make this jacket. I knew the very first minute Jamaal came to me and said, we're gonna make, do fashion with my artwork. I saw this painting and I said it needed to be a denim jacket. Like just straight up, it needs to be a denim jacket.
I love
so
that.
That's what we did. I decided it's called Complex. We decided to name it Complex Love because you can see the, on one side of the jacket, I took strips of the fabric and cut it on the bias so that we can make all the different strips on it. It's then, and that is the side where, it's the left side, so it's where your heart is. Also, it's to even it out a bit, make it a little bit more symmetrical. I use that same technique on the sleeve of the other side of the jacket so that it would be symmetrical. The little blue part on the pockets as well as the inside of the jacket is material of another painting of his that the dress, we had a dress in the show as well. The dress was made out of that fabric. So it was a complementary jacket dress piece, but yeah, it's definitely fun. I wanted to bring in a little bit of that 90s vibe that Jamaal tends to like, or sorry, late 90s, early 2000s. So had it a little bit boxier cut, but definitely fun to make and definitely great collaboration. Jamaal pushes me to go outside my comfort zone a lot, but we definitely are great to work together. He pushes me outside my comfort zone. I push him outside of his. It's great.
And these two pieces, this one and the one that's next to Jamaal there, are literally get off the elevator and this is what you see. So immediately you know that something's a bit different here at the mayor's office at Boston City Hall. If you come in and you're seeing these things, that's one of the things I love. You do stop short. Now, Fernando, would you like to say a few words about this piece before, and then maybe Jamaal after that we can turn to your right and kind of look up the hall. Joe, Fernando, want to say anything? If not, I mean, this
Sorry.
is one of my favorite pieces, but
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out this muting system here. Yes, of course. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, so Jamaal, like everyone here is aware of, came to me and was, wanting to collaborate on an idea he had. And so he just told me like, hey, I'm working on this painting. I'm wondering if you could do a portrait on it. And I was like, sure. Like, what do you want to do? And we haven't really figured it out. And I was just like, let me just do you. Let me put you on the painting. He was a little hesitant at first, but I was able to convince him. And got some shots and delivered the painting. And at first I didn't realize the size of it. When I actually got it, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually a painting. All right. But yeah, was able to sort of get his portrait on there, and I think it came out great. And it was sort of like halfway done when I received it initially, so I wasn't sure how he was going to sort of put the final touches. But I mean, when I saw the end result, I was pretty blown away. I thought the combination and the collaboration was so spot on. I mean, I was very happy with the overall end result.
yes, and so the portrait that we're looking at now is the part that Fernando, you did.
Yes. And then yeah, Jamaal just completely, did his magic and was able to fit every other inch of that canvas and sort of unify it in a very unique way.
Yeah, Fernando, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the part that I like specifically about this piece in particular is the glasses.
Yeah.
It always blows my mind, like, because like my first initial look, it's always like, oh, he painted that pattern on there, but no, you left the space,
Yeah.
And I just really love that part about this piece.
Yeah, that was Jamaal. I was like, hey, should I, what color you want your glasses? And he's like, leave it, just leave it, let it bleed into the background. I was like, okay, cool, let's do it.
That's really cool. Cool. Yeah, I do want to be cognizant of time though, so yeah, let's make sure we can kind of do a view of all the pieces. Although this is another star of the show as well. Stephanie, you want to say anything?
Yeah, so again, I wanted to add softness and more fluid movement through this piece because it was such a large piece. And the focus of it being Central Park, I wanted to add something that was softer water content piece against Spencer and the target and the arrow, just to tie it all together. And I really love working with orange. So I wanted to add orange on the other side, but give it a different shape to it, just to tie everything together.
Lovely, thank you. Mm-hmm. See all the way up this side. All the paintings are on the wall. I'll walk down. I don't know if you'll be able to hide me and where I'm sitting. Melissa, do you want to say a few words about yours?
Yeah, sure. The title is Drumming, and I was trying to capture movement and rhythm, and then there's a little internal play on words where the heads of what would be the figures are sort of the same shape as the drum heads. So I amused myself in that way.
Cool. Love it. And maybe you, Feline, and
what did Fernando want to say?
well, I can hear about
everything. You, Feline, tell us about resin. Everyone on how to make resin work.
How to make it, or like how to pour it on?
How do you put it on the canvas?
So with the resin, that was like the last thing me and Jamaal did to the painting, and we were kind of like going back and forth on whether or not we wanted to add it to the piece to complete it. Especially with like the 3D butterflies that we included, it kind of made sense to do it so the butterflies are more secure. So with the resin, we sort of had to do it in like a large area where we could have enough space to move around. So we did it in Jamaal's garage. So the painting was kind of just elevated like above like the ground. We use like cups to do that, and then we sort of just mix the resin. The resin is like a 1-to-1 ratio, and with resin, it's very important you get the right amount the first time, because if you don't have enough, then you can mess up your whole entire like piece if you run out of resin to cover the entire surface. So it kind of was like one of those things where you have to get it right the first time and make sure you mix it properly so it doesn't end up having like holes in the piece. So that part was really interesting because I've never resined that particular canvas size or shape, but like ended up working out. It went really smoothly, especially having Jamaal there to help me, because usually when I do resin on my pieces, it's just me trying to like rush through it and do it to get it through like the whole piece. So having a second hand there to help spread it out and then like, you know, make sure there's no holes and like, you know, no bubbles was definitely very helpful. And I think it adds like another like layer to the painting. It kind of has like this reflective quality about it. And I'm just glad that we ended up adding that, because I think it really took the piece to another level.
I love it. Now, before you go on to the next one, I was, Jamaal, what about turning your camera on John, who's currently kind of behind you? And and just, I was curious to have him talk a little bit about his curatorial process, because he's the person who hung all the work here.
Oh, okay. Well, as far as hanging, you just got a whole new hanging system.
Can everyone hear him?
Wow.
I just want to make sure. Can they hear it from your side or no?
Okay, you're on mute. You can talk, John. Go ahead.
So when I hung the show, we just had a new hanging system put in. So we used to have gallery rods. Now we have these cables, which are great. They're very, very adjustable. And but how I chose to put them up, I usually do it fairly rapid. I don't put a lot of thought into it. I usually want bookends on the end. And I usually have, sometimes I have the two end faces if they're looking this way. So if I had, say, this picture, sometimes I would put that at the end. So it looks this way, and Urkel is kind of looking sort of this way. So that's how I usually go about that. And I usually put them up, and then if I don't like something, I'll move it around.
Right.
And I do it all by eye, and I don't put I think if you overthink it, it can cause you distress. And but you know, this one was a large piece, so I put it straight in the middle because there's no other pieces this size. So if we put it down the end, it wouldn't work. You know, we'd need another big, exact same size piece to put at the end. And the beginning pieces down the end, those are always easy because I want the two largest pieces for that end.
Right on.
And they just hang on screws in the wall.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, I thank you, John, for all your efforts, and it was magnificently hung.
And thank you for all having cables on the back of your work.
Yeah. Artist tip, guys. Artist tip. Since we're here, LaShonda, talk to us about these. I know. I just want to say that seeing these pieces, I've seen the Marilyn Monroe piece in 2017 when we had our show at Babson, and it inspired me to do that first painting that you saw with me and Fernando called The Narrative Heart. So, LaShonda, thank you for being an inspiration for me, always.
Wow, that's incredible. I love that piece. Yeah, I did the Maryland piece for the Babson show and wanted to expand the series. So I basically wanted to kind of take a look at icons, but deconstruct them a little bit. So for Maryland, with the Alice in Wonderland theme, or Alice in Wonderland lens. So the Maryland, I kind of played with the whole idea of going down a rabbit hole. Eartha Kitt was offering her head, kind of playing with the concept of, you know, the queen, that was her famous saying in Alice in Wonderland. And then I kind of dug into Eartha's background a little bit. She's one of my favorites, particularly Black icons, but just how she struggled a little bit after saying some choice words to Lady Bird at the White House, and was basically blackballed and couldn't work in the U.S. for a certain amount of years. So that's kind of the concept of that, and just dealing with, you know, the different. The concept of the cups was, you know, all the different cups you have to hold as a Black woman, you know, basically these different boxes that you're placed in, and you're kind of checked about your place if you step out of that sometimes, or people feel like you've stepped out of place. And I feel like that's what that was for Lady Bird. So we have a little Lady Bird kind of at her leg with her crown on, and then I kind of have the Cheshire cat, kind of a nod also to her Catwoman, you know, background. So that was a fun piece. I love the Maryland piece as well. The whole idea of the cards, I was painting her dress and I didn't like the way the dress looked. And I knew I wanted to incorporate cards, but I didn't know how. And I just kind of went on a whim and was like, let me cut these up and see. And that's the end result. I liked it. So I tried to pick the cards very specifically. So you have the one queen in the corner, and then the kind of the Queen of Hearts concept running throughout that one. And then Earth is a little bit more like Queen of Spades, I believe. Kind of I lead more towards that suite for that picture. But yeah, that's those two pieces. And then of course we have the Urkel in the corner. I love Jamaal's work. So we've collaborated. We first started like collaborating literally on Canvas in 2018. And I quickly learned after our first set of collaborations that I wanted to leave as much of Jamaal's painting or his initial work untouched as possible. So for this series with the Urkel, I did that. So with the clothing, you can kind of see the background shining through, like he's literally coming out of the painting. The only things I really painted over fully was the, you know, the arms and the legs and the arms and the face. And I just kind of did the little outline of the clothing to give the impression of the outfit. But yeah, it was fun to play with that. And like I said, do my best to leave everything intact to show off the cool patterns and the amazing work that Jamaal does in his work.
Yeah, just to insert a story here, my dad went to go see it, and he was like, how do the pants work? How does the shirt work? He was so impressed with how it worked. And then when I told him that it was like, you know, just the background shining through, he's like, no, there's not, what? So it's really cool to see you. It's impossible to tell that it's two different pieces, but it's also one. It's a great collaboration piece. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. It was so fun.
Christine, I think we lost you on the mute.
Yep, I'm here, but I think Mateo's going to talk now. I hope.
I can if you want me to. Yeah.
You want to say
this is a portrait of my brother, actually. So my style has developed over the years, but you know, I think something that was always an inspiration was color, and meeting and seeing Jamaal's work kind of pushed my limits on that too. And you know, it's always, you know, something that you know, just, you know, influence of, you know, 90s hip hop, street art, just that kind of you know, wild style. You know, if you think like Fresh Prince, that wild style spray paint can kind of neon color in your face. Just there's such a positive energy that comes from that. And so I immediately gravitated towards it. And, you know, my brother is a budding, you know, filmmaker, artist himself. And so I painted this of him just one afternoon, you know, sitting with him, and then continued to work on it. And that's why I called it Star, just for my faith in him, you know, and, you know, just that's where this painting kind of came about.
So cool.
Here's another one of Evelyn's, which this is a solo piece by Evelyn. And I love the fact that you use the peacock feathers. Those are very cool.
Thank you.
Very textured. And I would say this is indicative of some of the work that you do, and feel free to just, if you want to talk about the piece briefly, do so. Kind of has some of what you do in your work, but mostly you've been using a lot of hair in your work instead of kind of adding feathers or necklaces. But that's what I've been seeing in your later pieces, right?
Yeah, like I personally just like anything with texture. So anytime I could use something else on my paintings, I like get really excited. But recently I've been just doing hair because I knew that earlier on in the year before COVID happened, I had spoken to LaShonda and she was talking about doing the hair show. So I wanted to have pieces for that show, or at least have like options and stuff. So that's kind of how I ended up actually starting working with hair, because I was trying to come up with pieces that included hairstyles, but I didn't want to necessarily paint the hairstyles. So I was like, you know what, if I just use actual real hair to do that? And that's kind of sort of how I just expanded into a whole bunch of other like new ideas and stuff. So, but in general, I just like using like texture in my work. And this one specifically was also related to hair. I decided to call this painting like Miss Louisiana because of the law that was like written like in the 1700s, not allowing Black women to have their hair out in styles. They would have to have their hair wrapped just because it's seen as a distraction almost. So I kind of used that sort of to inspire the painting itself. So that's kind of why I chose those colors, and like the hair is so like big, and also like it kind of looks like an older style. And I just kind of sort of just went with whatever like came to mind and sort of combine new ideas with old ideas to create that piece. But in general, I just have a fascination with like that kind of stuff, hair, jewelry, like anything texture related, like I love. So I think with my newer pieces, like even now I kind of took a break on the hair and I'm working with stuff that include like flowers and stuff. So that's like my next venture. So I'm going to try to figure that out. But it's always like a good experience and fun to see how like to put them together to like get it to look like my idea, I guess. So that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Do you want to just show a little bit back this way or back around the other direction, just so people can get a sense of like this whole area and what it looks like? You can even hold up a little bit. And then again, this is like where Boston's mayor, where he walks in every single day, just so that everyone understands how cool it is that he's walking in between all of these paintings. And then if you turn in the other direction, you can see we have the seal of the city. And then behind to the left is a brand new display case that has some of the shoes that we talked about before. I mean, up to you if you want to go there next. You're in charge with the camera. Oh, okay, sure. We're going to show a video and then we're going to go into that. Oh, sorry, hold on. Sorry, you know how this is. It's like it's always technological problems when you try to like do something. So we're going to show some images of some other work that did not make it over here. It's been in other shows. And here we go. Which ends this piece. Hold on one second. Thank you all for your patience here. Does everyone see this picture now?
Yes.
And then
Yep.
do you want to say something about this, Stephanie Hosser? Or maybe not, so we can ask you to unmute yourself. So this is another piece that was a collaboration.
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the piece that Jamaal inspired. I had no idea what would happen in the end, but he, like I said earlier, he came over, we started, we worked. I did the underglaze, which you see in the hair and the teeth and the eyes, and the terracotta clay just has its own quality. There was a backpack, and I made sure that the hands would hold his canvas. And then with COVID, he had to take it to his place, so he couldn't continue working with my underglazes in the kiln. So he ended up using his acrylic. He painted the shirt, painted the backpack, and then you can, if you can get close to his photo collages, there's some great painting added on to Martin Luther King and the Women's March, which is another canvas that he made. You know, he took it to another level. I never, you know, we talked about skateboarding originally, which is the way I met him at Babson, but this is so fabulous what he imagined, and giving it the name Hope just made it great, I thought. I'm very proud of this collaboration, and Melissa Schock, thank you for that documentary you did. I was really thrilled to see that.
And that video can be seen on Vimeo as well. For anyone who's looking, just go to Beacon Gallery's page on Vimeo, and the videos are there to be enjoyed. The next thing I wanted to show you guys is, I'm gonna have to switch what video we're seeing here. Oh, I have to take you off of Spotlight. Is another fantastic piece. You can see the bottom of it, which T, you were behind, and you brought all the way from your studio in upstate New York.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a beautiful piece, and I'm going to show another view of it as well, where we can see the top and the mirrored top of it. And can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the kind words. So this was definitely like probably one of the truest forms of collaboration that I can envision between myself, Melissa, Jamaal, and Mary Pennard, who wrote a beautiful poem to go along with it. But the top is a mirrored stainless steel to reflect the 5-panel piece above it. The bottom is carved out of a pine tree, and that's what makes the base for it. For the seer, the beautiful painting that Melissa and Jamaal collaborated on. But I really think that what's so special about this piece is that each piece complements the other components of it. So I think the poem complements the painting, complements the table, and it all kind of works together to give the viewer kind of an experience. But it was definitely something that definitely pushed my comfort zone and challenged me. But I think that the end result is something very unique for sure.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
Mary, do you want to say anything about what it was like for you working as the poet on this?
Yes, thank you. It was extraordinary and kind of mind-blowing, because for poets, it's always about finding the form. And what I also understood from talking to Melissa and Jamaal and Terrence, excuse me, T, is they're also searching for form. And the fact that we were all doing that together, I think made this such an original piece and an original experience. And I think what I ended up finding was a form that allowed me to celebrate the 5-panelness of this. It's a form called the tanka, and I wrote 5 of those, and each is 5 lines. So it was just a glorious experience, and I felt honored to be a part of it.
Wonderful, thank you. Here, I'm going to stop sharing this picture, and then I think the last thing that we have to show this evening is some of the shoes over here. Is that right, Jamaal? Show us. Here, I'm going to put myself on mute, and I'm going to.
Yeah. Yes. Joan, do you want to talk about the shoes some? It's fabulous, fabulous, beautifully bold, hand-painted shoes.
Yes, all of that. Thank you, Jamaal. They are as you can see, just totally inspired by the art, the shape, the colors, the combinations that Jamaal puts together to make paintings that are so glorious to look at. And he has very graciously invited me to come along on this journey and make little changes where I need to, because the shape is so different from a flat canvas. And we have debated what looked like black to me, that it turns out was very dark violet. And we have found our way to totally trust each other and not be at all afraid to question each other about what the end product will look like. And quite honestly, even though I'm the one who painted them, I'm thrilled with what the end product looks like, because it also was, the colors are so happy. And especially in this COVID time, that has been a joy, total joy to sit down and paint. So thank you very much again, Jamaal, for trusting me with your art.
I just want to say that, you know, you might feel gray in your life for that day, but you put these shoes on, or you put on a mask from Stephanie, Celebrate, or you put on a scarf, and joy comes. Maybe you start walking down the street, and why can't we be friends? Should be your theme music for the day. And this is what this is about, the fashion part of this art, and my paintings and the collaboration paintings is about that feel good. I got you with that bow tie soon, Rekka. I got you with that bow tie soon. So, Stephanie, we have to get a bow tie for Rekka.
I can see that. We're gonna have to get on that.
Okay.
Don't joke about it, because it's coming your way too then.
It's coming. So, Christina, I'm gonna turn off my video and then come back over to you.
All right. I know. He's got to turn himself off fast. I have to remove spotlight. Okay, can everyone see us all right?
Yes.
No feedback or anything like that? I'm gonna turn the volume on my side. Cool. Well, you know, I had a huge intention to have a great conversation about collaboration.
Hold on, Christine.
I think we kind of did that as we were going.
Hey, Christine.
Yeah.
Jamaal has to turn his phone off. Sorry, I said that.
Okay. Leave.
No, you had to leave the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we only have about 2 minutes. Does anyone want to talk about collaboration? Who wants to talk about collaboration?
Or does any of the audience want to ask a question? This is time. This is the free for all time.
Melissa, go ahead. You're on mute.
So when I originally thought about collaboration, I thought about it all sort of in the creation and going in and making the art. And now I'm feeling like it also happens on the back end. Like the collaborative pieces have a vibe to them where each artist the energy of each artist is still there. So I don't know how to say this, but it's something like the collaborative energy continues even on the back end.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite quotes that I think fits best with what you're, I think, touching upon, Melissa, is seek to understand first, to then create understanding. So it's, and I feel like that's what this show is all about, right? Is the ability for each of us to have a meeting of our minds and our kind of collective souls to be able to, you know, just kind of offer that back and forth to then create understanding of each other's worlds. So
I totally agree with that, Mateo. Like Jamaal and I have totally different styles, but I'm not as bold with colors as he loves, and using those pushed me outside of my comfort zone. And then he was like, oh, why don't you do this XYZ on the outfit? And I'm like, do I? And so just having that collaboration between us made pieces that are so cool that I know I'm super proud of, and I never would have made it if it weren't for the collaboration. So I think you said it perfectly.
It's just the diversity of Jamaal's fine lines versus most of our erratic behaviors, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing also just about the extraordinary power of seeing that art in the State House and how that creates a kind of collaboration between art and politics and discourse in a public place. And I feel so extraordinarily moved by that, especially now, given the political situation in this country. So thank you for that transformation as well. That is part of the power. And I think Melissa was getting at that too, the way that the collaboration lives on and exerts itself back to the people who see it, but into the space in which it's found. So yay.
Yes.
Bravo.
Brought positivity to this space. And a lot, people have come through and really given you kudos even this evening.
Yes, I think, Mary, you always say the most profound things. That's why we had to put you in the beginning of the video, just so you know. And I think that's just how we're gonna end it. Actually,
I think that's perfect.
Now,
Bookend it, yeah.
we bookend it with Mary and her talking about politics and how it line up the mood of politics. What was your favorite question that you asked us at all the dinners?
My favorite question is to ask people who, dead or alive, they would like to have dinner with. Do you want me to ask that again, or are we going to give people a pass because it's Friendsgiving? What would you like to do?
Guys,
do you have any volunteers?
Because we've run out of time, and this goes for all you guys there and everyone inside the chat as well. Put it in the chat. Who would you want to go and have dinner with,
yes.
Dead or alive?
You could have dinner with anybody.
Yes.
Jamaal and Christine, of course.
Yeah. So I'm so thrilled to have dinner with all of you tonight. But if I could say, if there was one person that I would want to have dinner with, or two people, besides you and John, the first would be Fernando Fuller. And the second would be Marty Walsh.
I like it.
Fernando, do you want to show the surprise that we had coming at the end?
Yeah, absolutely. So sorry, everybody, but I was lucky enough again to collab with Jamaal. So he contacted me and said, hey, let's collab again. So we did a portrait painting together of Marty Walsh so we can have dinner with him in some way, some fashion.
I want to see both of you at the table.
Yes.
1, 2 in the portrait.
Marty, if you're seeing this, we would love to have dinner with you, my friend. You are now part of the Friends group.
I like it.
And this piece, our hope is to present it to you at some point, but also to have it hanging with the rest of the Friends pieces for the last couple of weeks that we have here.
Oh yeah, you should totally do that. You got to get that on.
I got to pull John's strings a little bit. Let's see if we can make that happen. But Marty, we would want to have dinner with you, my friend. So I don't know if we can make that happen. I know, but if you're seeing this, dinner's on you. No.
The taxpayer.
I like it. I love the answers that we were seeing in there. The Wright brothers, Barack Obama, Lorraine Hansberry, Ram Dass, all fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just want to thank everyone so much for coming out and turning on their computers and joining us this evening, and
thank you
being here for Friendsgiving with us, or virtual Friendsgiving, hopefully to be done in person next year.
Mm-hmm.
And this was so much fun with all of you.
Thank you so much.
You want to come back?
Thank
you can come and visit the show in person if you want.
Yeah.
You do have to make an appointment, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or you can, so we can get in touch
just let
with
me
you.
know by email if you want to come see the show.
What's your email, John? Can
And
you
we'll get
type
you
it
in
in? Or we
What
can
is
send
it?
It's my name.
So
So it's
John
John.Crowley
at boston.gov.
at boston.gov.
So if anyone actually wants to come and see the show, you can do so. Just send John here an email.
Done.
And thank you all so much for being here. We're going to stop this now. If you want to see any portion of this that you may have missed, send me a message. I did record this.
Why can't we be friends?
All right.
That should be the rest of 2020.
Everybody, thank you all so much.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
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 Good night.